This talk is going to be addressed to all the men out there. Okay. Focus, guys. Okay. Now, I know your heart. I mean, I know it's hard, but please try to go deeper. I'm being serious. Go deeper. Look beneath the surface. No, I'm not talking about implants. Not talking about personality either. I'm talking about breast milk. Now, you may wonder what is a guy like me doing talking about breast milk or breastfeeding. To tell you the truth, back in 2009, before my daughter was born, I couldn't care less about breastfeeding, honestly. If someone showed me that picture, the only thing I care about is what's beneath the red cloth. But now, things kind of change. Before my daughter was born, my wife made me learn about breastfeeding, about breast milk, about the nutrients, about the mother-baby bonding time, about how the close interaction can actually accelerate the emotional intelligence of the baby. So at the end of the day, we chose breast milk. Now I know some people chose formula milk. And for me, if it's a matter of choice, we choose breast milk easily because, of course, it's clear that it's better. But fact of the matter is, only 42% of mothers choose breast milk instead of formula. Only 42%. And if we go deeper, we can see that only 15% of mothers completed that exclusive breastfeeding phase, where first 6 months the baby are not allowed to have any intake besides breast milk. 15%. Now, how do we rationalize this? How can something that is natural and free gets beaten by something that is unnatural and expensive? Seems mind-boggling, but if you give it a little thought, the answer is actually in there. Natural and free. Well, free is bad for business, but expensive. They love that. Formula milk was first created in 1867. And for about a century, it got huge commercial success until in 1974, this came out, The Baby Killer. Now, The Baby Killer is a report made by an anti-poverty organization in London called The War on Want. It basically blew the lid on how these companies are operating on third world countries, how they're pushing their budget, creating a good image that their product is modern, it's safe, it's healthy, and then putting it into markets where they don't have proper sanitation. Whereas in order to make formula milk, you need clean water. And some of these countries, they don't even have indoor tap water or indoor kitchen. Hence, babies are dying there, the baby killer. And this report devastated these huge corporates, formula milk companies, especially in the US and in the Europe and the North America. So what happened was they tried to expand somewhere else, somewhere where the population is huge and the regulation is weak. So they aim at Asia Pacific, including Indonesia. Now, if you're wondering what they're doing in Indonesia, this is just to give a big picture. In 2010, the infant milk formula company spent $110 million on advertising. The year after, the number rose to $190 million on advertising alone. So they must be doing a good business. If you're wondering how good, this is how good. Their market size is now currently worth $1.1 billion. This is huge. Now, it's clear that they're big. Okay, but the question is, are they bad? Are they bad? Well, do fish swim? Is Bali awesome? Did the movie Eat, Pray, Love waste 2 hours of my life? Yes, of course. Yes. Yes. They are bad, and I'm going to show you a series of examples. What I'm going to show you is some photos taken from hospitals from across Indonesia, big cities, where you can see that they're blatantly doing indoor advertising. See, this is actually ASI Hadiah Istimewa dari Bunda, which means ASI Mother's Greatest Gift, but this is actually Nestle. I'm sorry for the resolution. And then they do like this. This is totally illegal, by the way. They put up promotional booth inside hospitals, and they give gifts, seemingly undangerous gifts. They give to mothers. They give the card and then the product to babies. And then this is the card where you can see this is the company, and this is the details on the baby's card. And then this is all over the place. It's easy to find. It's not hard to find these in Indonesia, in big cities especially. And as you can see here, another example of how they're doing branding in hospitals. So easy. So easy. Now, as we can see that what they're doing seems bad, but you know what? This is not even the worst part. What we're seeing here happens in the big cities, but happens in the villages is a lot uglier. We have proof that they're paying off midwives. They have contracts that if midwives can sell a certain amount of product, they'll get a certain amount of money. It is that bad, ladies and gentlemen. So, organizations like AIMI, or the Asosiasi Ibu Menyusui Indonesia, Indonesian Breastfeeding Mothers Association, have been fighting this since almost a decade now, along with other organizations alike. And it's an uphill climb. But when we talk about breastfeeding, what crosses our mind would be it's something feminine, it's something that is for women. But now what we're trying to show you guys is that no, it's for men as well. Now, you may wonder how men can actually help breastfeeding. Back in April 2011, me and 7 friends, we established Ayah ASI, or the Indonesian Breastfeeding Fathers Initiative. Our faith for a better world basically lies in this simple statistic: the breastfeeding success rate. As you can see here, without father support, the breastfeeding success rate is 26.9%. Now, add father factor in there, the number rose so dramatically to 98.1%. Now, you may wonder why. How is this happening? What kind of support are we talking about? And how does it work? How did it increase so dramatically? Well, in order to answer this question, we must first understand the basic of breastfeeding. There are 2 vital hormones involved in breastfeeding. The first is prolactin. It's for the milk production. And the second is oxytocin. It's for the milk ejection. Now, imagine yourself, your body as a house, and prolactin being the water pump. It generates the water. And imagine oxytocin as the water tap. So no matter how much water you have on the reserve, if you don't have the tap, you won't be able to get it out. Oxytocin and prolactin, you need them both to be able to breastfeed. Now, the importance of men's help in this situation is more to the second one, oxytocin. You may have heard about oxytocin. It's dubbed as the feel-good hormone or the love hormone. It's actually the very same hormone that's released during orgasm in men and women. Another vague suggestion that sex and love are somehow connected. I don't know. But it is. It is said to be, it gives a pleasure. It gives a positive state of mind, that this oxytocin. But the bad news is, unlike prolactin, our body doesn't naturally produce oxytocin. When someone is pregnant, their prolactin level in their body will naturally increase and will continue to do so until breastfeeding phase. But oxytocin is not naturally produced by our body, and it's not directly influenced by pregnancy or childbirth. Now, this is where we're beginning to see how that statistic happened, how that mothers need oxytocin in order to breastfeed. And in order to have good flow of oxytocin, mothers need to be happy. They need to feel safe. They need to feel comfortable. And this is where I think men can help. Because partly, at least, men is responsible for the woman's happiness. So, this is what we believe. And I'm pretty sure it's not easy to convince other men about this, because traditionally, we Indonesian people, Well, taking care of children, especially very young ones, is a job for women. Our job is to provide, to look for money. But we try to devise a way to show men that, hey, you know what? This is actually very, very important. So what we try to do is we look for insights on men and we try to act upon it. And the first one is men is logic driven. Men is logic driven. So how we communicate this to men, we use facts, we use figures, we use illustrations. We show them that, hey, if you stop buying formula milk for 6 months, you can actually have enough money to buy a new iPhone. This is true, by the way. And they started listening. What? You said iPhone? This is how we instantly get the men to pay attention because they're logic driven and they're responsible for the financial aspect of the family, so this gets them right away. And then the second one is men are instinctively protective. So that's where we're going, that angle, that side where, you know, our family is in danger, our babies, they're threatening our babies, you know, your baby is in danger, my baby is in danger. So this is kind of like going to that side of man, the alpha male side of man. And then lastly, of course, men are perverts. So how we deliver this, we deliver in a fun way, still laid back, because after all, we are talking about breast milk. It's hard not to talk about breast as well and other body parts. So we keep it very, very fun and laid back. And we've been doing this since September 2011. That's when we established our Twitter account. And until now, the Twitter at Ayah Asi has more than 80,000 followers. And we released a book called Catatan Ayah Asi, or the international title would be The Milkman Diaries. Cool title, huh? It has sold more than 15,000 copies in Indonesia, the Catatan Ayah Asi. It's where we share about our experience in standing by our wives while they're breastfeeding. But this is not the best part. The best part is realizing that now Ayah Asi has 19 self-initiated regional affiliates all throughout Indonesia, and more we hope soon. So what started with, you know, 8 clueless fathers with nothing on their hand but a piece of data and a lot of enthusiasm has now become a nationwide network of men trying to remind other men that we can actually make a difference. We can actually take a stand against those huge corporates who will stop at nothing to make sure that they're having good profit. So yes, all of this fight we're fighting, and maybe I can imagine all those huge companies are looking down on us going, hey, come on now. This is just business. Don't take it personally. Well, forgive me for being too sensitive. But if you're trying to harm my baby, I do take it very, very personally. Thank you very much.